At first, we hit your gadgets with our state-of-the-art digitalized mobile studio with the debate on the road behind the wheels. Later, we launched our magnificent studios located on Plot 1A, Sawagude Close, Lukulinanganda, Machindye, Kampala, where we bring to you our must-watch shows like The Mighty Drive, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m., Hotline, Mondays, 7 p.m. As for legal matters, Twins at Bar, Tuesdays, 11 a.m. Wednesdays, 6 p.m. is Afro-Caribbean Link, where we connect Africa with the Caribbean. Voltage on Thursdays, 7 p.m., featuring a youthful panel. Interface with Dr. Kcca every Friday, 12 p.m. with his call to action against injustices. Snap Talk, Saturdays, 6 p.m. with the trio. A must-watch, The Political Dice, Sundays, 8 p.m. with the duo that never stammers, and so much more. Watch us live on all our social media platforms. We are the Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Hey Teddy, have you noticed how little attention science and health issues get in the media?
Totally, Edgar, yet science information is very important.
Yeah, for sure. That's why the Health Journalists Network is here.
How can they help?
They are a group of journalists dedicated to advancing public understanding of healthcare issues through impactful reporting on health and science.
Oh, really?
Yes, they meet up every month with scientists and researchers, policymakers, and activists at the Science Media Cafes. They then relay what they discuss to the public.
Does that benefit us?
Oh yes, very much so. This helps with health and science literacy for a healthy Ugandan society.
Okay. I love getting informed about science and health issues. Health information makes all the difference between life and death. I'll look them up and engage them.
That's great. They are based all over the country.
Oh, okay. That's interesting, and they should be making real impact.
They are empowering health communities through journalism. Journalists can save lives just like doctors.
Go to the church, though.
Tawali man, what's up?
Man, can you imagine people just dump everywhere? Someone drinks water and throws the bottle wherever.
Come on, Rogers. What else do you expect people to do with an empty bottle?
Simanya now, Nkola. Did you know that plastics take at least 450 years to decompose?
What? That's a long time.
Exactly. Because plastics are made out of a lightweight and flexible material that doesn't decompose easily. And plastics everywhere in the environment cause plastic pollution.
What is plastic pollution now?
It is the accumulation of plastic waste in the environment, like bottles, polythene bags, straws. All of these contribute to plastic pollution.
I have been using them without knowing their effect.
Yeah, a lot of people have. Plastics are a danger to the ecosystem, both on land and in water.
So how can we overcome this problem? Is there something we can do?
Oh yes, we can reduce by minimizing the use of plastics, reuse by repurposing them, or recycle by collecting and processing them into new products.
Everyone wants to change the world, but no one wants to change themselves for the world.
How about we change our habits for the world?
And it starts with me and you.
This message is brought to you by Alternative Digitalk.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Tukulikeyo nnyo mu kuwummulamuko negatiddwako Omumbejja ly'abatembeeyi n'omugenyi waffe ow'olunaku lwaleero Madam Sophia Nabbosa. Ono nno nga ye Executive Director wa Juakali Initiative. Twamukyazako wano lumu n'atunnyonnyola Juakali be baani bakola biki. So olunaku lwaleero tetugenda kubanga ate tuddamu eyo discussion. Twagala kutunuulira commitment ya Kcca oba obweteefuteefu bwa Kcca okubanga ate bayambako abana abantu betuyita abatembeeyi okubanga ate bafuna ebifo bye bakoleramu ebirungi. So eyo discussion yaffe ey'olunaku lwaleero twagala tulabe bye bagamba nti baagala okukolera abantu bano babitegeeza oba nedda. So weegatte ku discussion yaffe ng'ogoberera ku The Alternative Uganda Digital TV Facebook oba The Alternative Uganda ku YouTube. Comment yo endowooza yo giteeke mu comment section, ngenda kubanga ate ngiyitayitamu show yaffe nga bwetambula. Ngenda kubanga nyaniriza Omumbejja asobole okubanga ate yatulamusaako awo nno ayanirize n'omugenyi waffe mu butongole.
Waawo nanjogera okubabuuzaako yonna gye musinzidde okubanga mutulaba neyaza nnyo Omumbejja Farida akazindaalo kumpadde naye nga mbabuuzaako nawe musinzidde okutulaba abatulabira wano n'emitala w'amayanja. Nze Omumbejja Luwedde Lilian era nga mbaniriza ku programu y'olwaleero eya Mighty Drive. Ensonga z'abatembeeyi, ensonga za kulwanirira eddembe lyabwe, maloboozi gaabwe, weewaawo n'ebirala ebisukka waawo. Buli lukya tuba n'abalabi baffe abatwegattako. So mukyala Nabbosa agenda kuba nga atweyanjulira otegeere munnange ebimu ku bitonotono byakola ne Juakali byekola. Gwe omutembeeyi ali mu kusoomozebwa essaawa zino osobole okumanya obatuukiridde otya okusobola okulaba nti ate oyambibwa. Ye abaffe Kcca biki byeteekateeka okuba nga ekolera abantu bano abatembeeyi. Tulina abakolera ku nguudo, waliwo abatambula mu kibuga Kampala nga balina bye batambuza bye batunda. So abantu ng'abo leero betugenda okuba nga twogerako era nga ngenda kubanga nyaniriza omugenyi waffe olunaku olwaleero asooka alamuse ku batulaba weewaawo ate discussion yaffe tube nga tugikwasiza awo wennyini. Mukyala Sophia tusanyusa okulaba. Buuza ku batulaba.
Good morning, everyone.
Yeah.
I am Sophia Nabbosa, the team leader of Juakali Initiative, an organization dedicated to empowering the rights of street vendors, informal workers, who include street vendors, waste pickers, boda riders, and among others. Our mission is to foster an inclusive and gender-sensitive economy for all informal workers. And we envision an economy that is inclusive and human rights based.
Okay.
Yes.
So in fighting for the rights of these informal workers, mwenga mwe aba Juakali mukulanirira eddembe ly'abantu baneeno, how has it been?
Well, first of all, one of our strategies in advocating for the rights of informal workers includes organizing equitable spatial planning, social justice, rigorous research, advocacy, and media engagement. So the most important issue in managing street vendors is organizing or organization, and which is lacking currently. In today's scorecard, 2023 scorecard, we are looking at evaluating Kampala Capital City Authority's support in managing street vending in the Central Business District, and how it has also supported street vendors in accessing workspaces, public workspaces. Okay. Yes, we would like to extend our gratitude to Kcca's support in this research, where it provided information expressing the challenges in managing street vending in the Central Business District. And also we extend appreciation to individuals and organizations in this research. Today we are going to evaluate or assess the performance of Kcca in regards to managing street vending, basing on 5 key areas. Yeah. One is policy formation, zoning, decriminalization,
yeah.
Participatory consultation, and trade licensing.
Okay.
Yes.
How did you come up with this COA card? What informed your decision to come up with this COA card?
Firstly, we looked at the current situation in our city.
Yes.
Particularly street vending. And throughout the whole year of 2023, Kcca has been enforcing the same outdated policies which have not yielded results. And also considering the press conference that Kcca had on 11th November.
This year?
Yes, this year.
Okay.
I came to realize that in its achievements, there was no anything like street vendors, let me say, improving of street vendors' rights. It was not mentioned. Similarly, even in the 2024 strategies, there is nothing like improving or protection of street vendors' rights. There is no protection of street vendors.
So this COA card is particularly centering on 2023.
2023 and still up to date because there is no much that has changed. Or if I'm not to say that there is nothing that has
policies
changed.
zezo zibabaddenga benforcinga tebakyusizaamu.
They continue to enforce the same outdated laws that do not support or that do not cater for the current urban challenges.
Omuntu omu yandyebuuziza, why do you say those laws are outdated?
They are outdated. For instance, you can see that there is lack of participatory consultation. This is evidenced through the evictions and harassment of these workers, these informal workers. Street vendors are also informal workers. So, and the authorities continue to treat them as a public nuisance. But for us, we are saying, since street vending has been for decades an integral part of the economy, and we cannot underestimate the contribution of street vendors in the urban economy.
So mu mateeka Kcca ekakatibwako kubanga planningira ba street vendors we bagenda okukolera n'okubanga protectinga their rights.
Yes, and the authorities have failed to embrace the global trend of decriminalizing street vending. They are still criminalizing it as if it is an offense. But this street vending provides thousands of livelihoods. And it is also a source of employment.
Natulaba babakwata ate koti yake etuulira oluzira gwe bakwata luzira.
Yes, that is the problem, and that is the need for reform in the policies, because that is what has been going on and it has not yielded results. So it is becoming a challenge between the authorities and the public. Not only even the vendors, but the whole community, the whole public, like the whole city.
Oyogedde ku trade licensing as one of the key areas that we are going to look at to see whether cases are scored or not. Wali Abatembeeyi bebawa license to operate?
Now with trading license, currently the process of attaining a trading license is full of bureaucratic hurdles. It is hard to access. And I would say
I would suggest that Kcca tries to reform the process. It tries to reform the process in a way that it is accessible and doesn't have those hardships of attaining that trading license. And even if a vendor is to access it, it should be easy. But currently, Kcca makes it hard for one to attain it.
To attain a trade license?
Yes.
So we all agree that for someone to do street vending in Kampala, they need to have a license?
They need to have a license, unlike for some street vending activities, such as those vendors that sell their own produce. Those ones are exempted. And those who do handcrafts, they do handcrafts from home. Or there are some vendors who even sit on the roadside, they are crafting. Yes, those ones are exempted in the Trade Licensing Act.
Okay. Earlier on ohintinzeeko ku ngeri abantu bano gye batataganyizibwamu. But we all want a smart city and a clean city. Abakulembeze ba Kcca bo, when they are addressing issues to do with street vendors, balaga nti bano okubeera mu kibuga kireeta omugoteko, whereby movement eri limited. Nti we munaatambulira abantu nga 4-5 waliwo abatembeeyi abali mu kukolerawo. Isn't it tokitunuulidde mu ngeri y'okutereezaamu ekibuga, and that's why these street vendors babajja ku nguudo bafune we babateeka mu butale?
Yes, thank you for that. We really do appreciate all that the authorities are trying to organize the city. It is really very good, and we welcome the smart city. But as far as the principles of the smart city are concerned, enforcing it has to be inclusive, leaving no one behind.
Yes.
Yeah, that is why we seek Kcca's, how should I call it, collaboration in organizing policies, like implementing policies. They should be inclusive. They should conduct consultative meetings with the vendors before implementing policies, such as designating areas for these street vendors. Yes, there are many in the city, but it is simply because they are not organized. And it is the first step that should be done in order to manage the city. We cannot do away with street vendors because of their economic contribution to the economy, to the urban, because they provide goods and services that are affordable, accessible to the underserved population.
Okay. Yes. Looking at other countries that have developed street vending and their economies are really booming, for example, South Africa and India in particular, what is it that they are doing that Kcca is not doing?
For example, India, let me check it here a bit, I noted it, but India has a policy framework. It is Protection of Livelihoods and Regulations of Street Vendors, Act 2014. Yes, it establishes a comprehensive framework that protects street vendors and also supports them to work within the city still. Yes.
Okay. But we have gazetted areas where the street vendors are already sent. For example, waliwo bateekawo akatale ka usaafi era nga babagamba bali ku nguudo mugende muoccupying akatale ka usaafi. And then these street vendors bo baali bagamba mbwe eri bwe bagendayo tebakola. So they still want to stay on the streets.
Yes, now that challenge comes in a way that there was no participatory consultation that was done by Kcca prior to organizing that place where they can work from. Because had they been consulted, they would have made more informed decisions. Yes, but now they went ahead, formulated theirs without consulting these ones, and then you find that they are not appreciating it. But it is so hard for if street vendors were involved not to abide by what they took part in. Yes, but since, as we know that street vending, especially the large population that is in street vending, they don't do it because they chose or they want, but it is a source of livelihood. So if you get, for instance, a person selling handkerchiefs, and then you tell him or her to go into the market, especially with these markets that were constructed as malls, that person won't be able to sell.
Markets were constructed like malls.
Like malls. So since it is a source of livelihood and these people depend on it like as a daily source of income, they take advantage of those hours where there is high traffic, sell, and then have something for the day. They can't afford going back home without a thing. And you can imagine the money they collect in selling a handkerchief. So they take advantage of those hours. And that's why we would like to urge the authorities to formulate policies to regulate these designated zones that favor the work of the street vendors. Yes, because they have different types of goods that they sell. Yes, and if at all they are consulted, they would know that these people can work on this street in these particular hours, and then
they can make a living out of it.
Make a living, yes, and also be organized.
Okay, I want us to go by areas. You really pointed them out, those 5 areas that you used to make your scorecard for Kcca 2023. And one of the areas is decriminalization. And you point out to, you want them to reduce on the penalties and the many arrests. We all recognize Abatembeeyi babakwata every day. But also, how do you want, what are your suggestions? Because yes, Abatembeeyi Ogambe balina okufuna license, and we know most of them, if not all of them, don't have the licenses. So what are your suggestions to Kcca? Yes, tebachikoze, you gave them a very low percentage. If I am looking at your scorecard, the percentage is really low. So I want to hear your suggestions. How do you want Kcca to reduce on the decriminalization and all that?
Yes, thank you. First of all, the bureaucratic hurdles in attaining a trading license make it hard for informal workers, in particular street vendors, to formalize. Because when you have a trading license, that means you're operating legally. It is formal. So I wouldn't want to say that this is intentional in order for the authorities to keep on criminalizing
the vendors.
I wouldn't want to say that. That's why I urged in the very first place to make the attaining of street vending, the attainment of the trade license accessible, easy. It can be online. You understand? So,
but is it feasible? Now, can it be attained? Nti buli muntu agenda okuvayo agende ku street alina okufuna license. Basobola okubanga tusobola okukifuna.
It is very possible in a country like Argentina, Buenos Aires, that city. They have a licensing model, and it creates that caters for both fixed and mobile vending. Yes. So this regulatory framework ensures that a vendor gets a license that that suits the type of trade. Yes.
Okay.
So it can be done, but with organization, because you can't just give out a license not knowing what the person sells.
Yeah.
For you, you have formulated a licensing model for like one catering for all.
Yeah.
But these people are dealing in different commodities.
Exactly.
You can't give a trading license or charge a fee. Even the fees are high of attaining that trading license. They are even, when in a year, they are even higher than those who are operating in shops.
Yeah. Oh.
Yes. Now, a person selling handkerchiefs, agricultural produce, can't be the same as a person selling maybe clothes, maybe other commodities.
Yes.
So the trading license model should cater for what the type of vendor or goods that are being vended.
But do you think Ugandans can comply?
Very well.
Because even those that are in shops don't want to pay the license.
It is because the same people who formulate these policies try in some way to bend in for others. But if they are straight,
The law is selective and segregative.
somehow.
Okay.
Yeah, but if it is, if the laws enforced are followed, even these vendors really want it, because we have been in them. I have talked to them. They have shared their views, but they are saying they don't want to listen to us. But we would suggest this and this, and we can comply.
Remember, their demands are high.
They are not high. They just don't want to understand them. Because, okay, it's a matter of negotiating.
Yes.
That if we give you this zone, yes, we are here in this zone, then what time do you think is appropriate for you to work? But you can't say, we've put there a zone for you. Eh? You stay there, that is it. Yet this is a source of livelihood. A person depends on it for a day, that very day. If they don't work,
They're not going to
they're
eat.
not going to eat. Children won't go to school. It doesn't impact only one person.
Yeah.
I wish Kcca can try to view it in a way that it affects, or it can affect from generation to generation.
Olwagambye nti ensonga zino ngeri gye zikwata ku batembeeyi tuzizzeeko mu Luganda for them to get to understand what we are talking about. Ndowooza awo tutambule bulungi. Naye ku nsonga ya zoning ogihintinzeeko awo katono nnyo. Is it the main reason as to why abantu bano balemesebwa okuba nga bakola nti time gye balina okukola, obudde bwe balina okukoleramu tebuli cleared, nti oba mukola saawa eziti okutuuka saawa eziti?
Ensonga nyingi eziremesa abantu abo okukola. Ekisookera ddala bakolera ku bunkenke, kuba authority yo ekiteekawo lwatu n'ekibateekamu obutembeeyi musango. Okukola obutembeeyi musango mu kibuga. Naye ng'obutembeeyi obwo bumanyikiddwa, it is recognized in the law nti it is a legal trade.
Okay.
Obutembeeyi buli mu mateeka. So kati embeera eyo ey'okubeera nga mulimu okutya kulemesa abantu
bakolera ku
okukola.
bunkenke.
N'ensonga ey'okubeera nga bannamateeka abakwasisa amateeka ab'ekitongole ekya
Kcca.
Kampala Capital City Authority balemeddwa okuteekawo omwagaanya okukolera ewamu n'abantu bano abatembeeyi. Si bazibu, naye beetaagamu okutegeka n'okuteekateeka. For example, waliwo ko association eziriwo ez'abatembeeyi. We can start from there. Waliwo
obutwala abatembeeyi bano.
Yes. Naye association ezo ziba zeetaaga okukola ki? okwongeramu okuteekateeka n'okusikiriza abalala okubeera nga
bajoininga
nga babeeramu nti eddoboozi lyammwe tugenda ddiwulirira muno naye era abalyongerayo bo weebali naye authorities tebateekawo ogwo mwagaanya nti nno katubawulirize
onaateese n'onaateese
nti n'ensonga zaabwe ze zino bo balaba ng'ekizibu nti lwakubadde bangi naye beebuuze lwaki bangi kubanga tulina ekizibu kya ebbula ly'emirimu ne weesanga nti nga n'omuntu agraduatinze agenze mu butembeeyi either whether indirectly or directly naye ng'ali mu butembeeyi kuba waliwo gw'osanga ng'atunda engoye ziri mu nsawo mutembeeyi naye aba law enforcement bagenda mulaba bo balaba akutte ensawo ye naye ng'alina kyo sense mutembeeyi naye ate tekisobola kubeera kwatunda menvu na agricultural products sobola biteeka mu nsawo osanga abantu badde tebabagobaganya bwe batyo naye kiri eri ate even their perishable products they should actually be encouraging abantu baneeno okubateekerateekera bakole tuleme kubeera nga the farmers are losing the economy loses the farmer the families everything and that's why we are still in poverty embeera y'okubeera kubanga kigenda kuba kyansikirano abaana b'abatembeeyi tebagenda sobola kusoma ku lwansonga balemeseddwa okukola naye ate ne mu government schools era osasulayo akasente kati omutembeeyi ono anaasobola atya okuteekayo akasente akatonotono omwana asoma ate nga bamulemesezza okukola
alina okulya alina ogula uniform
kale kwegamba
ku zooni ngaawo wennyini Kcca mwagiwa 26%. That is a very low percentage nga mugamba yakusikowalinga ngera mugamba nti teteese ebifo bye yateekawo they are not accessible ebimu ate abatembeeyi bammwe tebakolerayo ate mwagala Kcca ekole ki ku zoning kale mwagamba batuwe ebifo abatembeeyi baffe gwe basobola okubeera ne bakola Kcca eneewulira negamba kakati abatembeeyi mugende mu katale ka usaafi mukolereeyo kati mugambya ekifo kye baatuwadde abatembeeyi tebakola what do you want Kcca to do?
Okusookera ddala nga bwe nkyogeddekoko nti beetaaga okubeera nga batuula wamu n'abatembeeyi oba ababakiikirira bayinza okugamba nti tutuula nabo naye the challenge is when it comes to implementation they implement otherwise or contrary to what was discussed
batugamba eno ffe bannamawulire byawukana ne bye bateeka mu nkola.
Yes, for example, we can say the markets, how they were constructed, they did not at all consult. Because you can't really, with the kind of this trade or business, you can't construct a market like a mall because of inaccessibility, because of the nature of the products and services offered, especially the goods. Yes.
Okay. Twagala obutale buno bulinyisibweko endabika n'enfaanana bulinyisibweko ku mutindo buleme kubeera nga buli obutale bwe twagendangamu nga n'ekkubo toliraba oba y'ensonga lwaki babuzimba kati mu nzimba eriwo.
The challenge there is space. There is that the authority has that challenge of space. That must be one of the reasons why they built it like that.
Okay.
Yes. But then if you can consider that market, Nakasero market, how it is, and if the authority can go ahead to seek or collaborate with private entities okubeera nga bagaziya akatale okazimba mu ngeri ekola ki so omuntu n'abeera omuntu n'amanya nti sigenda kukkirira eri wansi oba sijja sangayo mutembeeyi but I can live here Maika go to that market move around netambula nefuna byonna byenjagala then I got once nakyo kisoboka
mudaala waliwo kino mudaala B
nti ab'obutambala bali eno fruits bali eno bikibi naye kiba kyetaaga nga space neneko kakati kye tuteesa nti Kcca esobola okitunulamu n'etandika okuteekateeka ekifo ekigazi. Bagamba kale kati kali akatale ka gundi katukafiise tugaziye eno eri wasigale nga ki traffic atambula bulungi naye nga people can access this side era baba bajja beerayo naye obuzibu tebannaba kutuula kuteeseganya na kukkiriziganya. Of course authority eba tejja kukkiriza buli kimu Mutembeeyi kyabagambye kuba olusi yo Mutembeeyi aba tamanyi nti yaba amanyi kisoboka ye nga bwakiraba naye nga urban planners bo bamanyi buli kimu wekitambula n'obuzibu obuyinza okubaamu. Naye weebanga eryo etteeka liyisiddwa era ne ligobererwa ne license ne ziteekebwawo era Omutembeeyi amanya nti wenna agenda ku street yeri we bankwata sina kyempoza
kubanga
baba basomeseddwa ne bagamba mumanyi tugenda kukolera wano eno tugaziyizaawo ate era ababeetaaga bajja kujja eno kakati ne consumers abaguzi bakimanya nti siganya njagala katambaala naye sijja kafuna ku street oba ku kkubo lino oba luddawa nina genda eri oba emmotoka njirese eno ku Mukwano Moolo kanyambuke wali enakasera oba luddawa cause it is big enough era we bali specifically yes baba basobola oku abidinga
participatory consultation eno yo gihintinzeeko nnyo but obuzibu tebuli kubakulembeza abatwala aba street vendors bano nti bwe batuuka wali eri balema okunegotiatinga ensonga ezikwata kuba naabwe be bakiikirira wabula ate ne badda the other side okubanga balinga ababalyamu olukwe.
Challenge eyo y'amaanyi nnyo nti authorities bajja kugamba tubeebuuzaako gye bali aba bakiikirira naye they are compromised most of the times nti babiteesaako naye abatekeratekera ekibuga bo ne basalawo nga we balabye era nga we naggambye mala obyogerako ne basalawo bo nga we balaba naye ate singa baba basazeewo nga we balabye oba bakoze policy ne baddamu ne bareviewinga after certain time review nti kyo kikoze kitya guno omwaka tekibakoledde oba ffe kitukoledde oba tuyinza tereezaamuwa they even solicit for ideas or views of the vendors that they are planning for nti buzibu ki we buli buki kino kijja soboka kino tekijja soboka katukole bwe tuti nti how far is that impactful so review ezo ziyambako kubeera nga
moterezaamu
they transform ne bakola policies eziri favorable they can't be 100% but at least favorable someone can work then also ne bamanya nti bateeseteeseyoko maybe holiday markets nti this day vendors can musobola okweyiwa ku street eno
twabeeranga nalwo
olw'essande baabawanga ne buli kawungeezi era ng'omumanya nti olw'eggulo bataddewo ebintu byabwe okutandika ndoza sanga 11 awo n'okwambuka waggulu
naye ekyo kyalemesebwa era kyalimu challenges nyingi because obangiyite planning enteekateeka teyaliiwo like teyagenda mu maaso tebagiteekamu maanyi bo ne balaba ng'ekizibu basumbuwa understand kale nti traffic ne batakiteekateeka bulungi
olaba mukajjaawo nga mukajjaawo wo waabanga bize buli kawungeezi kati nga jamu abeerawo because abantu baba bazze kugula bintu ndoza ensonga lwaki
anti kati bwebo obuzibu bwennyini kale kaŋŋambe nti singa baba bagambye tugenda kwongerako ekifo oba sayidi emu bweti ewatali motoka ewatali ki babeere awo nti omuntu asobola okukola ki okufuna maybe wa parkinga oba batambuza ebigere bakwata eno so n'emmotoka tezikwatayo that evening bamanya ezo nguudo maybe boda oba ki ezo ziyitayo zokka nga si mmotoka naye jamu era abeera asobola okubeerawo nga mungi.
So abaguze oba abatambuze bagambe bannayibulirwako satu eyo street teyitwako mmotoka abantu baba bali mu kkola such that the public knows.
Yes, kibeere mu mateeka ng'era wo twabeeranga
naye otwalayo emmotoka yo nga bakukwata.
Ku Lwokubiri ngenda mu katale n'abava okunyuka ku very parliament ludda wange amanya ngenda wano nakasero kugula bintu saidi zeeno wemala ninya motoka yange speed genda saate kudda mu jam.
Weewaawo tuli ku nsonga za street vending oba abatembeeyi mu kibuga Kampala. Kcca olowooza ekoze ekimala okubanga ebateekerateekera okulaba nti nabo baakisesinga okukola okulungi nga tebatataganyiziddwa. So nno y'ensonga gye tuli mu kutunuulira. Kcca ekoze eki wa weetakoze eyinza kutereeza etya? Tuwumulamuko katono nnyo tokomawo.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
At first, we hit your gadgets with our state-of-the-art digitalized mobile studio